In dermatology, artificial intelligence holds immense promise, especially for triage in primary care, where general practitioners often lack specialized training. But here's the problem. Current AI models struggle with fairness. They're trained predominantly on images of lighter skin tones, leading to significantly lower diagnostic accuracy for patients with darker skin. This isn't just a technical flaw, it's a clinical equity crisis. The average GP diagnoses skin conditions correctly only 42% of the time. Conditions like eczema and psoriasis are frequently misdiagnosed due to overlapping appearances. And when AI is introduced to assist, the bias in training data can worsen existing disparities, especially in malignant lesion detection, where missing a melanoma can be life-threatening. So how do we fix this? Enter LesionTABE, a fairness-centric framework that combines adversarial debiasing with dermatology-specific foundation model embeddings. We're not just tweaking an existing model. We're rethinking how AI learns to see skin lesions, fairly, accurately, and equitably across all skin tones. Our approach starts with a critical insight. Bias isn't just about representation, it's about what the model learns to prioritize. Most existing debiasing methods fall into three categories: sample balancing, synthetic data generation, and bias unlearning. But sample balancing doesn't eliminate disparities. Synthetic data risks amplifying bias through flawed skin tone translation. And while bias unlearning, where models are trained to ignore skin tone while preserving lesion features, shows real promise, most methods lack consistent evaluation, standardized fairness metrics, and crucially, external validation. To close these gaps, we developed a unified statistical fairness framework. We evaluated performance not just on melanoma detection, but also on inflammatory conditions like eczema and psoriasis, using real-world, patient-captured images from 3 publicly available skin tone labeled datasets: Fitzpatrick 17K, PADU-FES, and SCIN. The skin tone distribution across these datasets reveals a stark imbalance. Over 75% of samples are Fitzpatrick types I to III, meaning lighter skin tones dominate the data. This is the root of the problem. We tested 4 debiasing architectures, turning a blind eye TABE, a variational autoencoder with adaptive resampling VAE, fair disco, and a baseline ResNet 152 model. But here's where it gets technical. We didn't just use generic ImageNet features. We integrated LesionCLIP, a dermatology-specific foundation model trained on 438,000 image text pairs from ISIC and GPT-4V generated reports. Now here's the twist. Despite being trained mostly on lighter skin tones, LesionCLIP still carried strong bias. But this is key. It also learned highly discriminative, lesion-relevant features that generalize better across skin tone variations than generic representations. That's because domain-specific pretraining captures clinical semantics, texture, symmetry, border irregularity, color patterns, not just pixel-level features. We evaluated fairness using 2 metrics: equality of opportunity, EOM, for malignant lesions, measuring how consistently true positives are identified across skin tones, and predictive quality disparity, PQD, for inflammatory conditions, which assesses balanced accuracy consistency across skin tones. Across both tasks, the results were striking. In malignant lesion detection, the standard ResNet 152 baseline scored an EOM of 0.77 internally, but dropped to just 0.42 externally on PADU-FES. That's a 45% drop in fairness. FairDisco performed best internally, but its EOM fell to 0.39 externally. VAE was inconsistent. But TABE, when paired with LesionCLIP embeddings, achieved an EOM of 0.56 on external data, a 34% improvement over the baseline. And performance didn't suffer. LesionTABE reached 71.8% balanced accuracy, a 5% gain over the baseline, proving that fairness and performance aren't mutually exclusive. For eczema versus psoriasis classification, the trade-off was even more nuanced. The baseline had a PQD of 0.73 internally and 0.64 externally. FairDisco improved internally but failed externally. VAE did better on external validation. But with LesionCLIP, TABE again delivered the best balance: 62.8% balanced accuracy and PQD of 0.8, a 25% fairness improvement and 8% accuracy gain over the baseline. Why does this matter? Because in clinical practice, fairness isn't a secondary concern. It's central. Misdiagnosing eczema as psoriasis leads to inappropriate treatments. Missing a melanoma on darker skin leads to delayed care and higher mortality. LesionTABE isn't just a model. It's a step toward equitable AI that can support real-world triage, especially in underserved communities. And here's the deeper technical insight. Foundation models trained on domain-specific data can generalize fairness beyond their training bias. Even though LesionCLIP was trained on lighter skin tones, its embeddings encode dermatological knowledge, what a lesion looks like, not just what skin tone it appears on. That semantic richness allows the model to disentangle lesion features from skin tone, enabling robust performance across diverse populations. But let's be clear, no method is perfect. FairDisco excelled in internal validation, but collapsed under external pressure. That's a critical warning. If you don't validate on real-world, independent datasets, your fairness claims are misleading. LesionTABE's strength lies not just in its architecture, but in its rigorous external validation protocol. In conclusion, LesionTABE represents a significant leap forward, not just in performance, but in responsible AI design. It's a framework that prioritizes fairness without sacrificing accuracy. It uses the power of domain-specific foundation models to learn what matters, the lesion, not the skin. This isn't just about better algorithms. It's about building AI that sees all patients equally, because in dermatology, equity isn't optional. It's essential. And the future? We're expanding LesionTABE to multi-class classification, integrating it into clinical workflows, and conducting prospective trials to evaluate safety, fairness, and real-world impact. Because the goal isn't just to detect skin lesions. It's to ensure that every patient, regardless of skin tone, gets the same chance at accurate diagnosis, timely care, and better outcomes.